I'd also like to thank the CS for the thought leadership. You gave me that, Mr. Yema, that notion this morning. And I think it's very important, not just in this sector, but in other sectors, that certain organizations provide this kind of thought leadership. So I thank you for the leadership and the thought leadership. So let me stand on existing protocols. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. Somebody I have a great deal of respect for, called Mikko Hyppönen, famously said that we are no longer, and you can go to the first slide, please, we are no longer protecting computers, we are protecting society. So when you hear people talk about whole of government, I'm sitting in one corner and saying, that's not wide enough. It has to be whole of society. And who are the society? Well, many of you that have heard of me speak before, hear me talk about Mama Alakara, Malam Mekose, Malam Meshai, Mama Okpa. These people today are using these devices. These people today can check their bank balances. These people today can send and receive credit. So they are actually part of that digital society. It's not just about the youth, the intelligentsia, or strategic leadership. Now, analysis by the International Finance Corporation basically projects that by 2025, the African internet economy will hit $180 billion US. They also project that by 2050, the African internet economy will hit 712 billion US. We must note that in 2019, Africa's population was about 1.3 billion. And by 2050, we're talking about, or we're projecting somewhere in the range of 2.5 billion. So I'm very happy my brother from the Identity Management Commission is here, because it means that there is a lot to protect, a lot of people, and certainly a lot of money. Now, I have something in my small Lungu Place office here called a honeypot. And basically, it mimics a very juicy target for hackers. And I'm able to see, or my colleagues and I are able to see their modus operandi. We're able to see what they're doing, what they go after, their ways and means. And so what we are finding, and again, it fluctuates, as they say, per second. But on average, we are looking at globally with other honey-nets around the world, 40,000 attacks per second. 200,000 attacks on average per minute. So that's 1 minute that you say, I'm coming. There have been 200,000 attacks. And on average, every day, anywhere from 54 to 57 million attacks. So some of you maybe as CISOs, you believe, I can't be attacked. Well, some might say you've not been attacked because maybe your data has no value. But I think maybe it's because you just don't know. I think it's the former FBI director says there are basically two companies, those that have been attacked and those that will be. We must bear in mind when thinking about this, that it takes the average Fortune 100 CISO in America, Chief Information Security Officer, with all their technology, with all their budgets, an average of 2 years before they detect that they were infiltrated and attacked. So this is food for thought. Maybe the people are already inside, they are moving laterally through your organization. Now, when we look beyond the attacks that some of you may be familiar with, and I'll try and avoid being too technical, we must today now contend with geopolitical issues. The global shortage of professionals, I don't think there's any organization represented here today that doesn't have that problem. I don't think that we really understand the nature and insidiousness of non-state actors in cyberspace. And maybe we should actually be more wary, and this goes to my brother from ONSA, to the state-sponsored actors. because that is now part of not just warfare, but espionage, but also just simply trying to undermine other nation states. Now, to compound this challenge, especially across Africa, from my vantage point, there is a misperception among many of our leaders, especially our political leaders, and even heads of agencies, that cybersecurity is not an African problem to solve. Now, I've alluded to some statistics earlier. However, I think it is imperative that we really get our leaders to appreciate that it is our problem to address. It is our problem to solve. Bear in mind that as human beings, we only pay for one thing: pain relief. If it's not a pain, then we won't pay for it. Today, if I offer any of you Panadol, you say, why? It's 40 naira, you won't give me. But trust me, if you have a blinding headache and I say 200 naira, you'll give me the money. So, where am I going with this? The African cybersecurity solutions market in the late 20s, 2019s, 2018s, was valued at about $0.95 billion US. By 2020, that market was valued at $2.32 billion US. By next year, and 2023, 24, we're looking at anywhere between $3.6 and $4.5 billion US. Just the African cybersecurity solutions market. William McCanty in Kenya projects that this market will grow to somewhere in the range, in over 10 years, of about $15 to $30 billion US. So as the lawyers among us would say, I put it to you, which piece of that action will be ours? Which piece of that action will be, in fact, yours? Which piece of this action, sir, will be for Nigeria, the solutions? We can generate jobs with this. Certainly, we can generate wealth. And as a byproduct, government will get taxes. And I believe this is an area, not just for the CISOs and the technical people, but all of us. Such companies need governance. Such companies need sound directors. Such companies need financing, shares, stocks, brokering, you name it. Added to this, we must appreciate that the 2022, this year, the ISC Annual Global Workforce Study shows that there is a gap of vacancies of 3.4 million cybersecurity professionals. Just imagine the kind of jobs that would create. So some of us may say, well, if we overbuild cyber professional capacity, they will japa, they will just go. Please let them go, it's good. We need to make sure we have the pipelines to keep creating. Today, remittances bring more money than crude. But those people, probably a good percentage of them, one day will decide to come back. What do they come back with? They come back with their knowledge, experience, and expertise.